just gently take that adhesive away from there. So now we're ready to go. The key tile was the original one that we've lined. I'm still going to put my hand here. So now when I pick the tile up that's going to go down, goes back there again, and I'm going to touch that tile. Same as the wall, so no adhesive comes back through the joint. So from about 3 inches, which is about that, let that drop into that adhesive bed there. Now I can see from here, and you should be able to see from there, that by troweling this way, I can see that this tile is like dropped exactly into every one of them ribs there. So it's got an instant contact straight away. So again, I could probably leave that tile there and it would be okay. But just to make sure that I've got the best contact possible, I'm going to slide it in the opposite direction, only lightly, but just going in this direction. So what's going to do now, it's going to smear the rib out. It's going to give more contact on the back. So what you want to do here is spread your hands out diagonally, and as light as you can, just float the tile in the opposite direction, which is here. And if you keep your eyes on this, you'll see how much this sort of changes, and then back to there. So now you should see like this got a lot more contact than what it had. So that tile there, we've checked the floor. The floor is flat, or we've made it flat. You can see that I've troweled the adhesive perfectly flat. So really that tile there has got to be flat because it's all parallel to what we've started with. So the next tile we're going to put down is going to be exactly the same. Now floor is very repetitive, so we need to like sort of drop it down from the same height. We need to slide it with the same pressure. So again, just lightly touch this tile. Don't lean on that because we don't want the tile sinking down. So again, all we're going to do now is we're going to touch that tile again. So therefore there's no adhesive going to come through. From the same 3 inches, drop that down. The same pressure. Now there's going to be a height difference here between these two. That's because this one's been pushed down and this one hasn't. So exactly the same pressure is what we did with the last one. We're going to slide it out exactly the same. So now that bites in there to create the contact, and then I'm going to come back until this has a 3mm gap on the floor. So that's the size spacers we're using. So now this is a perfect test with a coin, because a coin is a cylinder or an octagon, whatever it is. It's going to be a hard edge. So it means what I can do there is I can just gently float that over the top there, like that, and that guarantees that this tile is going to be perfectly level and perfectly flat with that. It should be, because you've dropped them both down exactly the same. Hi, welcome to module 28, which is how to cut tiles against the floor. So we've just finished the module of the way we've actually like sort of tiled the floor, which is pretty straightforward, and would have had to cut the edges in as we went. Now in the wall module, when I showed you about cutting wall angles in, we're actually flipping the tile over and marking it and bringing it round to the front. So you should know how to do the wall version. Never do this one on the wall because the middle tile is going to slide through. So I call this a triple decker. So let's just say this tile here was in position on the floor, all right? And we'll have to cut this tile in against this angle of this wall. So this level really is basically just checking that it's running out, right? So that's your wall off. We need to cut this wedge in here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to leave this tile obviously in the adhesive, and then this tile here would go on the top of that. Now this is the piece that's going to end up in there, right? So the reason why it's called triple is because there's 3. So I'm going to put the next tile on the top of this, and I'm going to simply slide that over to there like that. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave about the grout joint where I need against the wall there. So I'm going to leave about like a 3mm gap, which is there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw a line between them two, like that. So therefore, this piece here is going to be that cut. So if I just lift this up, I put this down the cutting bar here. So just align that. So score that. Remember, we're breaking this 1 inch from the top. It's a quick flick. And then this piece here should fit exactly into there. So I've automatically got my gap left here, and I've automatically got my gap left there. So again, that's a perfect angle against this wall. So again, just make sure you leave the gap only against here. Don't leave the gap there and there, otherwise it's going to be too big. So again, if you leave the same gap every time, you're going to get a uniform sort of cut. So whether you want to leave like a 6mm gap, a 3mm gap, because it's a movement joint against the wall, or just a general spacer against the wall, whatever gap you want to leave against the wall, leave that on the triple. So the exit point has got to go on that central bar down the middle. And again, what we're going to do here, we're going to have to tap this one a little bit harder. So therefore, with a bigger tab. So again, that is M2 taken off now. So now this socket there would have went on there like that, and then this socket there would have went on there like that. So that would have been, again, your kitchen sort of splashback situations, or a shaver socket in a bathroom.